Okay then. Okay then. Through milky mist and mountain spines, and empty darkness of the pines, two travelers have come to me. What is the reason I cannot see? An elder lord with selfish dreams. He knows everything, he deems. A hunter from the ruler's marsh. The folks are evil there and harsh. Why have you entered my domain? I won't believe you've gone astray. I'll give you an advice with pleasure, that is much worthy than a mere treasure. There's nothing here to seek, my lords. You have to turn to eastern roads. But if you still refuse to hear, there will be trouble, will be fear. Howdy, folks. I'm looking for someone to share in an adventure. Oh boy. It's that magical time of the year again. December 31st, 2023. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm currently standing at the same place last year, on the same date, perhaps the same hour, though I'm not sure about that, where I recorded the last Wizard Talk episode 2. So I suppose this is Wizard Talk episode 3, the final one for this year, but not the final episode in the series by any means. As you can see, it's very sunny today. It's very warm, about 14-15 degrees, and I think I'm going to go adventuring right now, and maybe possibly reflect upon the entire year, just the important bits, and then I'm going to wrap up and do something kind of I don't know, a reading or something, which is not really something I have it in mind, but so let's go. I'm going to visit this same place where I've been last year. If it's really I mean, I don't know how many trees have fallen, so I guess we're about to see. If it's really bad and like uncrossable terrain, then I'll think about something else. This is the entrance to the mythical forest, and the quest is not completed by any means, so let's go. I'm going to be talking while I'm walking, and that of course rhymes. So let me see where the path was. You know what? I really like this place. And also I like doing these videos. Whoops. So if you're digging this kind of stuff, then you can join me, walk along with me. I will not be brief, I promise. So, let's see now. That's the place. Maybe I should stop here and say a few words. Well, this year was really fruitful, I guess. For me, it was a rough start, and but then interesting things happened as well. Apart from that, I guess I've changed a bit. Everyone does, isn't it? But I think the time now is ready to say the most important thing concerning reflections or announcements, if you like. But just give me a minute. This is a tricky place to navigate. Yes, sir. Very, very tricky. I'm looking for a particular stone. It's nice here. So, let's do the important announcement first, and then I'll keep moving. Last year I was talking about my book that I'm writing right now, but I don't think I have mentioned the name, the title of the book, or details about it. But I think, actually I feel that the time is right to just announce it. Just to summarize, I'm writing a book on, let me put it this way, on J.R.R. Tolkien's Legendarium, particularly the Silmarillion, and I'm, of course, with other writings as well, from Unfinished Tales as well. And I'm trying to connect the creation myth of the Ainulindale with my, perhaps but my favorite, close to heart, dear to me band from Austria, which is Summoning, the Wagnerian duo, which I don't even consider black metal. And the book will be dealing with themes from their album With Doom We Come, concerning each song. And I mean, that will be the first section. Things may change, but the second, section or part of the book, it will be divided into. It will deal with musical themes concerning the creation of the world, as it is presented in the beginning chapter of the Silmarillion, and I will try to connect everything, just mesh it together nicely. Obviously, I have tremendous work to do, and that's gonna happen during next year, and I need to do it right. So the title of the book, currently I picked that title, I guess, was it last year or this year. It's called The Sound of Enchantment, with a subtitle, J.R.R. Tolkien summoning and the music of the Ainur. And yeah, that's the working title. I'm going to show you the cover, and that's about it, I think. Apart from that, I as I said recently, I've written, or last year in the same video, you know, Wizard Talk. I wish to do it properly. Not that my first book wasn't done properly. It was, I mean, mind-blowing. Not mind-blowing, but it was very hard process. Very stressful. This one, not so stressful. I enjoy every bit of it. I'm not struggling or anything like that. I'm enjoying writing it, like reading the source material and just analyzing things with my own perspective and putting it on the blank page. That's what we do. So I guess you can expect more news about it, on it, and I think I'll obviously I'll self-publish it again on, through Kindle Direct Publishing, and yeah, just wish me luck, please. Apart from that, what else happened during the 2023? I've been to a few concerts. I've seen Rome, you know, the band from Luxembourg, for the first time in Bulgaria. It was a unbelievable experience. I mean, very memorable, very authentic, very you know, true. I mean, real. Then I saw Amorphis and 𝗧𝗶𝗺𝗀𝘀 for the first time as well. I mean, I saw them for the first time. Those were my concerts. And yeah, things are always changing. Things are, you know, popping up creatively, I mean. And let me just continue. And I suppose I'm not losing my spirit, my creativity sometimes disappears for a bit, as I suppose it's for many people out there. I'm not an exception, but yeah. What I desire to do in 2024 is to travel more. I mean, during the so-called pandemic, you know how things were. It's like reality shifted, and people's consciousness shifted as well along the way. The prison-like aspect of life was unbearable. And right now more bands are coming to the Balkans, but even close to our country. But it's not only about seeing bands live. I just wish to visit places. I always wanted to go to visit Norway, or, Sweden, Denmark, Finland, the Holy Four. There's so much to see, absolutely so much. It's like unbelievable. Megaliths, museums, even the cities. I'm not completely against urbanization. There are things to see, but apart from that, the history and the heritage of these countries is a real treasure. So I hope I can manage that. During next year, I plan to go to a few other concerts. But we shall see. I will announce what is happening maybe next year. I'm not sure. But one of the bands is Fintroll from Finland, which I desire to see. That's gonna happen like in April. So yeah, good stuff. Concerning a few people I like to mention, obviously I still have I'm still communicating with Taylor Hood from Littleword channel, and yeah, he's a good friend. So, and also greetings to Ryan, his brother. So guys, I wish you all the best during 2024 concerning creative work, life, and above all, good health. And yeah. So, yeah. I recently wrote a short post on my social media, and I posted it on my blog as well, and where I talked briefly about the desire to I don't know, to kind of somehow detach oneself from the never-ending, quite stressful task of keeping all things, staying in touch with all of this. Like, it's very frustrating. But for people who just people like me, people like creative people who just want to promote their stuff, the options are not many. So the main, giants are still kind of on the top. I suppose the right thing is to balance things out, to limit your time with being in Facebook constantly, posting things there, or Twitter, whatever platform, Instagram, and just to put your things out there, just whatever thing you create, just release it out there, and whatever happens. I'm not saying just don't talk to people and ignore emails and act like an asshole, or being a snob. That's not my intention at all. But yeah, just finding the balance, finding the right balance, I suppose, as with everything in life. I also wish to make something, create new music for my Dungeon Synth project, because I only have one demo currently, and yeah, I have the desire to release a proper album, and but I'm not sure if that's going to happen during next year. The main thing right now, the main quest, if you like, is me working on it, on the book. So that's where my efforts are focusing. I'm concentrating my efforts towards that, because it's important, and I suppose I like to succeed. So yeah. So I have finally reached my destination. And I was looking for a giant, stone, powder. I found it. And yeah, I'm going to stay for a few more minutes here. Then I'll record some reading, and I'll be leaving. Going back home to do things. So what I wish to say to all of you out there, whoever watches these videos and read my books or articles, everything. I just want to wish you all the possible best for 2024. I would also like to recommend one of the most important to me, and I hope to many others, a documentary Taylor did not very long ago, concerning his thesis on Tolkien and Lord Dunsany. It's like a 2-hour long. It's astonishing. It's a work of passion, a work of love, an important work. If you, the reader, the viewer, the listener, if you like fantasy, if you want to find more about enchantment, what nature means to all of us on this planet, how we should approach it, how we should approach animism, how I guess it's not a how-to, but it's very uh, it's very inspirational work, and the themes he tackles. Personally, I've never seen anyone talking about, the Pegana mythology in such a way, or the Silmarillion. And of course, Lord Dunsany is, as Taylor says in his 2-hour documentary / video analysis essay or thesis, he's quite obscure. I think back in his day, he was not very well known, apart from in England, or I don't know, maybe somewhere else, or the States, in Europe. And these days he still remains a bit kind of in the shadows, where Tolkien is the most well known, obviously, the father of fantasy, but Dunsany, his books, his philosophy, his writings have done a great deal. They solidified, I suppose, the more deeper, the more sacred aspects of fantasy literature and many other themes. So yeah, do check Wander's Native Haunt, Earth-centered sacrality in the writings of Lord Dunsany and J.R.R. Tolkien. I hope I'm not, saying the name incorrectly. Apart from that, that's about all of the things I wanted to say. And again, I hope the new year will be fruitful to all of you. You will find whatever you're looking for and accomplish your dreams, and just do the things you're supposed to do, and the things which matters the most to you. So yeah, wassail, good health to every one of you, and happy new year every one of you, and all the best in the new 2024. See ya. We must learn to reawaken and keep ourselves awake, not by mechanical aids, but by an infinite expectation of the dawn, which does not forsake us, even in our soundest sleep. I know of no more encouraging fact than the unquestionable ability of man to elevate his life by a conscious endeavor. It is something to be able to paint a picture, a particular picture, or to carve a statue, and so to make a few objects beautiful. But it is far more glorious to carve and paint the very atmosphere and medium through which we look, which morally we can do, to affect the quality of the day. That is the highest of arts. That was by Henry David Thoreau. And what I'm about to read you right now is from my own book, Harrison Metaphysics. This chapter is called The Nature of Nature. This is the hardcover, by the way. So, let's begin. Its subtitle is on Epistemology, Weird and Animism. Let me tell you a story. A true story. I live close to the forest. To be exact, facing the forest. Because about 100 meters from the building where I live, I can see the dense pine, hornbeam, and other trees in the vicinity. Almost through the entire year, except during the coldest days of winter. Birds singing can be heard from inside their branches. It's like they're talking to one another. Sometimes, a pack of pigeons and sparrows arrive at my window, trying to peek with innocent curiosity inside and around my room, and maybe hoping to get some crumbs from the poor guy locked inside. They probably wonder what is going on in there. Well, nothing that exciting, really. Because while I sit behind my computer to write such an inspiring chapter like the current one, to read a book or to eat my breakfast, lunch or dinner, to clean my room or just to observe the falling snowflakes from my window and the never-ending stream of people inside their vehicles. It's as if the whole world is moving and transforming at preposterous speeds. That even if those birds were consciously aware of what was going on in the real world, it just wouldn't matter to anyone. And so, behind my back is my personal wooden library, with all my dozens of precious books that I've bought and collect along the years. With pages also made of wood. So in other words, it can be said that I do actually live inside a forest of books, or maybe the forest and the books live inside me, perhaps both. Without reading books, all birds are clever creatures. Let's take the raven for example. Like all corvids, it's an intelligent bird. It can imitate sounds, and it can also learn words. I haven't seen a Tolkien raven yet, but I've heard legends and tales of their existence. Now there's a feeling that haunts me, but which I struggle to put into words. Many times I have had conversations with friends and people, and suddenly something weird happens. An invisible barrier falls between me and that person, and all the desperation in the world flows inside my mind like a giant wave from the ocean. Maybe it's just my introverted nature, but you see, that cannot happen when you have contact with any bird. I have met many birds, like jaybirds, swallows, eagles, sparrows, woodpeckers, and many other winged specimens, while roaming the vast woodland areas around and outside of my hometown, like here, and on my village deep in the countryside. I also always try to give some food to any bird when I see them, and give to pigeons when they arrive on my window to take a crap. God damn, I just wish they stopped doing that, because I always have to clean their shit. But it's in their nature, I suppose. Birds require very long periods of time to start trusting you. You need to earn their trust somehow. Birds are also not that easily persuaded, and they almost never drop their guard, which is true. They're always on the move, unlike some of us lazy bastards. The jaybird, for example, eats a variety of fruits like seeds, acorns, and other nuts. But if they are in sufficient quantities, jaybirds usually store them in secret depository for the winter. Sometimes they lose or just forget about them, and they turn into a new group of trees. Nature works its magic. A bird just planted a tree. I wonder why we humans don't make that simple act that often anymore. It seems that birds are far noble beings in that regard. Then, what is the next logical thing for a bird to do? Well, the trees are planted and they grow tall enough to be ready to be chopped off with axes and chainsaws by people and made into all sorts of things like tables, beds, sofas, desks, tools, and libraries. Completely natural thing to do. The trees had disappeared, so people create magic too. I just tell myself that I bear witness to everything that happens inside the forests, and that I cannot do much beside plant some trees myself. But I also comfort myself with the fact that when I pick the words and sentences from a good book, I'm in a sudden hurry to store them in my brain and spread the knowledge all around me. I'm hoping that my hysterical excitement will fire up and boost some hunger for knowledge, young minds, and unleash their creativity so that they can bring life to a new spiritual forest. Maybe not all what I read is 100% understood by my conscious mind, but that's why I seek people that I never met before. And I desperately look for hidden roads and places in the wilderness, like right now, so that they can all shed some light and pour meaning into my being. I very much doubt if there are many such people in my surroundings, but nevertheless, I still search and eventually discover like-minded individuals. And I'll be honest with you, dear reader, they're quite rare. Like birds, human beings desire understanding and care too. We all need to caress each other's minds with words and ignite our sparks with love. The need for a mutual experience, looking for meaning, and the general authentic rules and disciplines for living are paramount in life. By rules, I mean following and doing what's best for you, and not some artificial type of rule created by an oppressive government, people, or agency. But why do we need understanding and rules? Well, mainly from a linguistic point of view, it's all about the words and the language we use. Words are those wondrous seeds, and they help us to understand one another, to unite, to become even closer, to transcend, and to have a unique experience on this planet. We have to multiply that experience and transform it into the shining star that lay dormant deep inside ourselves. Excuse me. And then create a galaxy, a constellation, even a nebula, and fill up the reservoir of souls with the liquid of life. I'm going to read that again. We have to multiply that experience and transform it into the shining star that lay dormant deep inside ourselves, and then create a galaxy, a constellation, even a nebula, and fill it up, and fill up the reservoir of souls with the liquid of life. Now back to the flying ones. The jaybird stands on a pine tree branch, twisting its little head around and about, jumping in one place and absorbing reality with such thirst that even I begin to envy her. After some time, her curiosity depletes. Things get boring, and here we go. She spreads her wings and takes off to distant horizons. Now that sort of magic I cannot perform, or at least not yet. I am watching in dreamlike amazement until I lose her from sight behind the branches, and I fool myself that I can at least fly on the wings of my thoughts. Alas, it is far from real flying, but it will do for now. It's maybe a simple form of levitation, but the process is entirely different from an actual flight. The wind does not make my fur go wild, and I don't tear up the skies with my energetically charged body, which is on the brink of an ecstatic trip to other realms. I'm quite satisfied with all I already have. Thanks, but no thanks, sir. I need no wings to prove myself to the world that I can soar above the assembled and the mundane meat sack incarnations that gave themselves titles and tools so that they can be closer to the clouds and fly over birds and spirits. I am no Icarus, and I can go and observe from the hill nearby. The experience is almost identical. The 21st century man lives in a world of immediacy, fueled by the desire to take instant satisfaction of his material possessions. People are all starving for that red carpet of satisfaction and instant gratification, where they think that the 15 minutes of fame will last for eternity. I got a nice surprise for them. They won't. Most of them are like, look at me, I can fly. Oh, look at me, I can drive faster. Or look at me, I have the latest smartphone. Look at my Facebook friends and Twitter followers. I have. Look at me on Instagram. I took a picture of my cat while eating my dinner. Look at my selfie mugshot. Look at my shiny car. Look at my wife, my kids, and my house. Look at me. I am a dead corpse in the ground. Who's going to look at me now? Rather grim. But yeah. Those poor bastards. They all need attention. They're starving for it. Frankly speaking, no one is impressed these days. I'm not. Apart from your average Mr. Nobody living a perfect set of life in the Matrix. Sounds horrible noises. The artificial hype, the envy, the infantile greed, the hyper-inflated ego, E-G-O, have been installed inside people's minds for a reason. It's all been planned and engineered for centuries. I would like to quote the infamous British renegade and doctor of metaphysics in the alternative conspiracy, Mr. David Icke himself. It's not real, mate. It's not solid. It's all made of atoms. It's all bollocks, all of it. quoting the guy doesn't mean I support or believe in his ideas. And to be honest, I think he's a bit actually a lot crazy and delusional. Well, crazy or not, he's partially right. But I don't need him to validate what I already know. I'm just quietly observing from the small corner of my universe, behind my window, and close to my wooden library, made from those murdered trees I have mentioned previously. Poor metaphors and distasteful allegories are not in my menu. I have a very strict verbal diet. Unpleasant words and ugly language can only mess up your brain, and no one really wants to go to the hospital after some uncontrolled eating habit and be forced to sit in the waiting room close to a tribe of meat golems and get a cheap prescription from the all-knowing doctors of orthodox wizards. That was a rather mouthful. For some painful substance in the form of pills and medication. So those poor birds and I are only divided by a thin sheet of glass. Who's to say that birds don't like being around humans? That's nonsense. After all, the reason why they're coming from the woods and branches of the trees and land on my window or on anyone's window already explains quite a lot. If of course one has eyes to see and ears to listen. What was that popular saying? In the country of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. I'd like to push that a step further and add, in the country of the deaf and blind, the one-eyed man is the only one you can find. So the arrival of these creatures already tells you that, in a very symbolic way, those birds are taking flight from home, so that they can return home. Home is where the heart is, and the heart is where the energies of the universe reside. The way of viewing and seeing the natural world and all of its forms and streams of consciousness is the way our ancestors lived their everyday lives and how they experience reality. They of course fought and struggled against elements in order to survive, but they also lived in harmony with nature. Shamanic practices and rituals, and also the animistic understanding of life, opens the doors of perception, and the reality behind the reality appears even more real than the previous day before. So that was the chapter called The Nature of Nature. You can read the rest in my book, Heresy and Metaphysics. That's the gorgeous hardback edition, released in 2021. Amazing design. It's a bit shiny. It's a bit sunny. So, yeah. So the design. I'm actually very proud of this book. Always will be. I remember everything, the whole process, writing it. So you can find it on Amazon, and it's not that expensive. You can support me if you like. You can also buy the paperback. Sorry, no Kindle version, digital, only physical copies of it, and that's how I intend to publish my second book. So, all the best to you all. Good luck, and see you in the next year, 2024. Take care. Bye bye. Partner. Make a place to sit down. Sit down and be quiet. You must depend upon affection, reading, knowledge, skill, more of each than you have. Inspiration, work, growing older, patience, for patience joins time to eternity. Any readers who like your poems doubt their judgment. Breathe with unconditioned breath. The unconditioned air. Shun electric wire. Communicate slowly. Live a three-dimensioned life. Stay away from screens. Stay away from anything that obscures the place it is in. There are no unsacred places. There are only sacred places and desecrated places. Accept what comes from silence. Make the best you can of it, of the little words that come out of the silence, like prayers prayed back to the one who prays. Make a poem that does not disturb the silence from which it